Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome back to my channel. Always happy to find you. Or if you're a new subscriber, welcome. I hope you stay for a good long while. There behind us is Kamala Harris, and I don't know how to refer her at this point because I don't know, she's no public role right now. She was recently vice president of the United States with Joe Biden, and then she ran for office against Donald Trump and seemed to have vanished after that loss. But so I don't know really how to refer to her, but properly, I'm saying properly. But nonetheless, there she is with her new book in which she launched a week ago, September 23rd. And I just want to give some thoughts about that book release. And actually, it's lackluster or lukewarm reception thus far. It has not made the New York bestsellers. It's not been receiving the um, expectations I'll put from the book publishers. I think it's Schuster and Schuster, and in those people that have actually purchased, read, or got advanced copies and have had her visit them during her book tour, which she's on right now, seem to have find the book to be a kind of misplaced fury. Um, I believe I heard one radio host call it a strategic suicide. And it really points out some of her lashing out at the Biden administration. So I just want to talk about that approach per se. So let's just start with just a brief history of her political career. She is planted or had been planted in California here, where I reside. Southern California is where I reside. As the district attorney of San Francisco, and if you're not familiar with the state, San Francisco is Northern California, and our headquarters, Sacramento, is also Northern California. But there she was from 2004 to 2011 for 7 years as the district attorney for in San Francisco. And then she promoted up to actually the Attorney General for the state. And she was Attorney General, AG, California for 2011, I believe, to 2017. And then after that, she became a senator from 2017 to 2021. She was California senator. And then, as we know, she partnered with Joe Biden in his race for president, and they did win that, and she was vice president of the United States for 4 years from 2021 to 2025. Now, I'm sharing all of that because as an attorney, any attorney, but certainly a political attorney as she was, there has to be embedded in the person a natural sense of fight, a natural sense of standing up for the people, a natural sense of bite and fury, I would say, in order to carry out the legal expectations of the role. I'll put it that way. And so, my view of her loss, or you want to call it defeat, of Donald Trump in the last election, just this past November, by which he took office in January, I found that she just went away. Now, this is not a political support, my view. This is highly only opinion on the facts. I'm not sharing my view politically, Republican, or politically Democrat. I am sharing the facts as to what occurred and how my perception of her moving away from the role, I'll put it that way. I don't even recall her conceding. I don't recall her conceding. It's almost as if she just went away. Now, that for me was disquieting because naturally, as I shared, an attorney, when you hire an attorney, God hope we never need one really, because they're just, first of all, they're highly overpriced. And in order to have an attorney, you have some sense of discord or um, a, a strong difference of opinions by which the law is going to be involved, and nobody wants to just hire an attorney. But nonetheless, the natural trait of a good attorney is the ability to fight to the win. And if there is a defeat, is to elevate up to fight yet more and have an appeal. Or the natural trait of an attorney is to go to the appellate court or to fight back yet one more time. They don't just disappear. Now, that's just a trait, particularly when, as I shared her employment history, from DA to AG, which is Attorney General, there is no higher office in a state for an actual legal strong arm. So you would expect the fight to be there. So for me, this is my opinion, is that when she lost the election to Donald Trump, and we could look at that even a million different ways, I expected a venomous fight. I didn't even hear a concession. I didn't even hear her concede. So when she went away, she kind of stayed away. And you haven't really seen her. There was a strong sense of silence. And when there's that level of silence and you don't hear anything, you can easily derive your own conclusions. You can easily just suppose or presuppose something, right, wrong, or indifferent. You can do that because you don't hear from the person. So those are my views of her. So now she has this book that comes out and came out on September 23rd, in which she supposedly, in the book, and I have not read it, I'm just getting feedback from the interviews I've seen and the views of people that have the advanced copies, is that in the book, it's almost like a tell-all, and it's like she's going against her own party. She talks about the mental state of President Joe Biden. She shares texts and emails as to the lukewarm support that she had of people that she thought during her run for presidency would be highly supportive and proud to do so, and that she was shocked at that. She shared, there was some text that she sent to our governor, California, because again, she's from California, strong roots here. And that she sent a text to the degree that, hey, I'm going to be running for office, for highest office, president. Do I have your support? And he texts back, hiking, call you later. But he never did. Now, she puts that in the book. He responded with 3 words or 4 words, hiking, call you back. And then she said he never did. And that was bothersome. So she felt slighted. All of these things. Let me say this as to my view on that. And this is why there's so much discourse and disharmony in relations by which leadership is vital. You don't go after your own team. You don't write a book and tell all when you're still on that team. And that team is, in most views, losing at the time. The Democrats don't have the House, the Republicans do. The Democrats don't have the highest office, the Republicans do. The Democrats don't have the Senate, the Republicans do. So when you go after them in a tell-all book, you hurt the party more. And again, I'm not supporting either. It could have been vice versa. I'm talking about value-based leadership and how we are seemingly losing the character by which a person is a value-based leader. Because how you respond to defeat speaks to your character. How you respond to a shunning or a different expectation from a person speaks to your character. And so to go after them says a lot about you. And this to me is why I believe there could be some sense of um, discord where she didn't feel that she was supported strongly enough. Now, I'll go on to say this. I'll put myself in that about my own response to that recent election. I would not have gone away and I would not have conceded without some sense of electoral vote count, recount, justification, and you'd have to prove to me that I lost. See, that's a snippet of fight because during the campaigning, there was a strong bout going on between her and Donald Trump. And because the bout was so strong, the results should have shocked her. It would have shocked me. And supposedly he won by a landslide. I'd question which land that slid on. Now that's just me. There comes to me, I believe, a sense of competitor edge, a competitor's edge. So I'll use an example. In sports, there is team sports and there's a sport you're playing on your own against an opponent. On your own against an opponent is like tennis. A team sport is more like basketball or football. And your role matters that you don't overstep your bounds in a team role. But if an opportunity comes to you, you take it despite that's your role or not. I don't see that she did that. And this is what I'm talking about. Now, it's not to knock her. It is not to knock her. But it is to point out the fact that you don't hammer on or beat on or fight your own team because it's in a losing position. You strengthen it from the inside out. Now, a tell-all book seems to be the thing these days. But typically, a tell-all book is about a horrible person by which you didn't support their views, their concepts, their values, their leadership. There's so much about that person that you didn't care for, but you don't go after the entire party. And you don't go after the namesake by which you attached your legacy, in this case, Joe Biden. Whether it's true or not, there is a sense of presidential positioning by which you are to remain at all times, at least allegorically correct, is what I'd say. You don't have to fake the funk, but you could sure do it better, is what I'm saying. Because there is an expectation of leadership by which we haven't seen in a very long time. And I would say now, especially, as we see a dark demeanor is in the leadership nowadays. The talk, the walk, and the ways are not example by which I'd want any young person or any person to follow. So there needs to be a sense of etiquette by which you're still effective and you don't have to lower your standards to the other person. Now, again, I haven't read this book. I don't think I'm really interested in reading the book, but the understanding is when you write like this, it's almost like you're blaming them for your defeat and your loss. You're blaming the party that you lost. Instead of strategizing differently, instead of deciding what's your next move, what's your next route. I don't think anyone has really heard from her now until this book tour. So the way about a thing is wrong. The way that we engage with people, the way that we represent ourselves before people, the principles that we have and the principles that we express says a lot about what's really going on, not in our head logically, but in our heart sorrowfully. And I think this is a lot contained in that book as a result. So be careful as to how we use our words. And even if you have a bone to pick with the person, you can do it without a book, I'd say. So we'll see if this is a career killer, but I thought a big career killer was the fact that the way she responded to this defeat. Supposed to be a fighter. She talked so much on her campaign about how she's fighting for the people and fighting for it. And then she went away. A true fighter never would have. Look at some old footage of John McEnroe playing tennis. He would go right up and make a challenge and stop the whole game. And he was considered at one time very tantrumous, but there was a great percentage of the time that he was correct. And he corrected what are they called? Umpires in tennis. I think they're called umpires. He corrected it right then and there. He didn't even wait. He stopped the game. This is what I mean by a righteous fight. This is what I mean by a cause-based fight. This is what I mean by a value-based fight. This is what I mean by a fight for the people. And as an attorney general, you were supposed to fight for the people. Or did you resign that too? If you've gotten this far, please click like, please click subscribe. If you have a comment, make it positive. And again, if you are new here, welcome. If you're not, click subscribe right now, and I love you. Bye.